Welcome to today's executive briefing. Well, let's just jump right in, shall we? We are officially stepping into an era where AI isn't just, spitting out text anymore. It's actually taking action. Welcome to the age of agentic systems. Now, for those of you in enterprise leadership, this is huge. It means unparalleled efficiency and scale. But as we're going to unpack in today's explainer, it also cracks open a completely terrifying new landscape of systemic vulnerabilities. We're at a point where robust governance isn't just some compliance checklist you hand off to legal. It is literally an absolute necessity for your operational survival.
Here's the quick roadmap for our briefing today. First, we'll look at escalating data infrastructure breaches. Next, we're diving into the AI supply chain crisis. Third, we'll expose some hidden systemic vulnerabilities. And finally, we'll wrap up with building AI security maturity.
All right, Section 1, Escalating Data Infrastructure Breaches. Massive legacy breaches setting the stage for greater risks. So, to truly grasp the threat of tomorrow's AI agents, we first need to get a really solid grip on our baseline reality. Just consider the sheer staggering scale of recent exposures. 275 million. That is the number of compromised users in the recent Canvas education platform breach. I mean, for any executive watching this, a number that massive, it isn't just a data point. It's a colossal existential liability. It really anchors just how severe our modern infrastructure failures have become.
And look, the operational disruption goes way beyond just a shockingly high user count. Take the notorious Shiny Hunters hacker group, for example. They hit nearly 9,000 schools. And get this, they timed the attack for the absolute worst possible window, right during final exam season. They managed to steal personal IDs and internal messages completely across the board. It's a brutal but honestly brilliant illustration of how modern attackers deliberately maximize operational disruption. They wait for peak network stress to swoop in and steal highly sensitive data. Now, these threats aren't just about mass data exfiltration. They are going straight for the very core of your network defense. Just look at this recent Palo Alto network's zero-day vulnerability. Attackers actually exploited a buffer overflow in the user ID authentication portal. And using just readily available open-source tools, they gained remote root access, and they kept it for an entire month, completely undetected. I want you to ask yourself right now, does your enterprise program actually have the visibility to catch a malicious actor sitting on remote root access for 30 solid days? Because the bottom line operational impact of a blind spot like that, it's just staggering. Moving on to Section 2, the AI supply chain crisis, the terrifying new frontier of threat vectors. Okay, if traditional infrastructure threats are the devil we know, well, development teams rushing to integrate AI tools are practically leaving the back door wide open. They're bypassing standard security checks and introducing unprecedented entry points. A prime example of this, the trust fall attack. This is a GitHub-based supply chain exploit that specifically targets those highly sought-after agentic coding tools. And what makes this so devastating is just how simple it is for the attacker. It executes a one-click remote control execution. Bam, instant, full operating system user privileges. It's a really stark contrast, right? You have the eager, rapid deployment of AI tools on one hand and the catastrophic simplicity of the exploits targeting them on the other. Now, if you're sitting there wondering if this actually affects your specific development environment, check out the vulnerable agentic coding tools flagged for this exact exploit. We're talking Claude, Gemini, Cursor, and Copilot. We are not talking about some obscure niche software here. We are talking about the primary productivity drivers that your developers and engineers are literally using right now, today. This kind of widespread vulnerability across leading enterprise tools, this is exactly what a modern supply chain crisis looks like. Let's jump to Section 3, Exposing Hidden Systemic Vulnerabilities, the double-edged sword of agentic systems. So, here's the double-edged sword. While these agentic systems absolutely introduce brand new risks, they are also ruthlessly efficient at chewing through vast amounts of data to expose legacy flaws that human auditors just miss. Let's look at how this plays out in the real world with the Mythos preview in Firefox. This is an evolving identity stack specifically designed for agentic systems. And what's super fascinating here is that it features this automated end-to-end pipeline that maps out the full security bug cycle. Basically, instead of relying purely on manual, painstaking code reviews, you've got an agentic system tirelessly, constantly hunting through the software architecture. And wow, the results of this automated pipeline are incredibly revealing. They show this alarming density of critical risks just hiding right there in plain sight. Out of 271 total security bugs found by the system, a massive 180 were classified as high severity.
Let that sink in. The agentic system isn't just flagging minor glitches or little typos, it's uncovering critical, foundation-shaking vulnerabilities and doing it at an incredible scale. But honestly, perhaps the most shocking revelation from this entire exercise is this. The absolute oldest bug discovered by this agentic system had been hiding, completely undetected in the code, for 20 years. No way, right? 2 full decades of manual audits, security patches, version updates, and human eyes entirely missed what an automated agentic pipeline just found. It really shows you exactly how deep and structural our legacy technical debt truly goes. Finally, let's head into Section 4, Building AI Security Maturity, a strategic framework for enterprise defense. Look, as corporate leadership, you don't just need to know the threats. You need an actual, actionable roadmap to defend against them. That's where the Cloud Security Alliance, or CSA, comes in. They've developed the AI Security Maturity Model, and it's built to serve as that foundational framework for your enterprise defense strategy as you start integrating agentic AI. It provides much-needed structure, and honestly, it takes a lot of the guesswork out of securing these incredibly complex, unpredictable systems. Let's just quickly walk through the logical progression of this maturity model. Step 1, you build and assess your enterprise program so you truly understand your baseline. You have to know where you're starting. Step 2 requires you to measure security across the entire domain, making absolutely sure you have no blind spots. Step 3 is aligning your practices with CSA controls, specifically utilizing their AI control matrix. And finally, Step 4 is to establish scalable processes. Because remember, this is not a one-and-done patch. It's really about building a continuous, unbreakable loop of assessment and improvement. Ultimately, your overarching strategic goal here is comprehensive security. You want to ensure a rapid response capability for when things inevitably do go wrong, while maintaining robust risk management across the entire enterprise. By utilizing scalable frameworks like the CSA model, your focus stays exactly where it needs to be, maintaining operational continuity and, crucially, mitigating your corporate liability. While we've covered a tremendous amount of crucial ground in this explainer today, as agentic systems fundamentally rewrite the rules of cybersecurity, I want to leave you with this stark, frankly provocative question to take back to your teams. As agentic systems rewrite the rules of cybersecurity, is your enterprise scaling its defenses or just scaling its vulnerabilities? The choice depends entirely on the governance frameworks you decide to implement right now, today. Thank you so much for joining me for this briefing, and I'll catch you in our next explainer.